Hello and welcome to Vision Academy. In this video, we are going to learn chapter 4Q multiple choice questions. Let us begin with question number 1. What principle does a Q follow? Option A, LIFO, B, FILO, C, FIFO, D, random. So here Q follows first in and first out principle. Hence FIFO option C is the right answer. Question number 2. In a queue, the element is inserted at the options A, middle, B, front, C, rear, D, random position. So in a queue, elements will be inserted from the rear end. Hence option C is the right answer. Question number 3. What happens when you try to dequeue from an empty queue? Option A, overflow, B, error, C, underflow, D, crash. So when you try to dequeue or remove an element from the empty queue, then it shows underflow. So that is option C is the right answer. Question number 4. Which operation is used to add an element to a queue? Option A, pop, B, dequeue, C, peek, D, enqueue. So here option D, enqueue is the right answer. Question number 5. In a queue implemented with a Python list, myQ.pop0 removes the element from option A, end, B, middle, C, front, D, none. As pop is receiving the index number 0, so hence it is going to remove the element from the front end of the queue. So hence option C is the right answer. Question number 6. What does the isEmpty function check in a queue? Option A, queue is full. B, queue has only one item. C, queue has elements. D, queue is empty. So here option D, queue is empty is the right answer. Question number 7. In the context of a printer, how are print jobs managed? Option A, LIFO, B, FIFO, C, random, D, priority only. So here all the jobs in a printer are waiting in a queue. So queue uses first in first out, hence option B, FIFO is the right answer. Question number 8. Which Python function is used to insert an element at the rear in a queue? Option A, insert, B, append, C, pop, D, push. So in order to insert an element from the rear end of the queue, we are going to use append method. Hence option B, append is the right answer. Question number 9. The peek operation in queue is used to option A, delete the last element, B, check if queue is full, C, view the front element without deleting, D, view the rear element. So here option C, view the front element without deleting is the right answer. Question number 10. In the bank queue example, which operation is used when a person enters the queue? Option A, DQ, B, append, C, peek, D, NQ. So here in a bank, the person will come and stand at the end of the queue. Hence it is called NQ. Hence option D is the right answer. Question number 11. Which of the following is not required in Python while implementing a queue using a list? Option A, is full, B, is empty, C, peek, D, DQ. So here option A, is full is the right answer. Question number 12. What is a DQ? Option A, a type of priority queue, B, queue with limited size, C, double-ended queue, D, stack with extra features. So here DQ represent double-ended queue, hence option C is the right answer. Question number 13. Which operation removes an element from the rear of a DQ? Option A, deletion front, B, pop of 0, C, deletion rear, D, NQ. Here option C, deletion rear is the right answer. Question number 14. If you insert and delete element from the same end in a DQ, it behaves as a option A, queue, B, stack, C, list, D, tree. So here whenever you insert and remove the element from the same end, which acts as stack. Hence option B, stack is the right answer. Question number 15. What is the output of get rear my dq if my dq is equal to 23, 45, 67? Option A 23, B 45, C 67, D error. Here you can observe that. So we are getting the rear element of this q, which is 67. Hence option C 67 is the right answer. Question number 16. In palindrome checking using DQ, characters are compared from option A, front only, B, rear only, C, front and rear, D, middle. So whenever we want to check palindrome in a DQ, we are going to check both the ends, that is front and rear end. Hence option C is the right answer. Question number 17. What does myDQ dot insert 0 comma element do in Q? Option A, insert at rear. B, insert at front. C, replaces the first element. D, deletes the first element. So here you can observe index number 0 and we are inserting the element in index number 0, which is at the front. So which performs insertion at the front. Hence option B, inserts at front, is the right answer. Question number 18. In Python, what will pop do if no index is given in a list? Option A, removes front. B, removes last. C, removes middle. D, none of the above. So here option B, removes last, is the right answer. Question number 19. In multitasking OS, that is operating system, how are jobs scheduled if FIFO is used? That is first in, first out is used. Option A, the latest job is processed first. B, jobs are randomly selected. C, jobs are processed in the order they arrive. D, only one job is processed permanently. So here option C, jobs are processed in order as they arrive, is the right answer. Question number 20. Which operation would you perform to add an element at the front of a DQ? Option A, insert rear. B, append. C, insert front. D, NQ. So here option C, insert front, is the right answer. Question number 21. Assertion A, in a queue, the first element added is the first one to be removed. So here this statement is true. Reason are queue follows last in first out LIFO order. So this statement is false. So here you can observe that option C, A is true but R is false, is the right answer. Question number 22. Assertion A, NQ operation in a queue adds an element to the rear end. So this statement is true. Reason are Python's append function adds element at the end of a list. So this statement is also true. So hence option A, both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A is the right answer. Question number 23. Assertion A, deleting from an empty queue results in overflow. Actually it is underflow. So hence this statement is false. Reason are overflow happens when insertion is attempted in a full queue. So this statement gives true result. So here you can observe A is false but R is true. Option C is the right answer. Question number 24. Assertion A, is empty is necessary before performing DQ in a queue. This statement is true. Reason are DQ should only be performed when the queue is not empty to avoid underflow. So this statement is also true. Hence option A, both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A is the right answer. Question number 25. Assertion A, queue can be implemented using Python's tuple. So here this is false because queue can be implemented using list. So hence this particular statement is false. Reason are tuples are mutable and support deletion and insertion at both the ends. So here this statement is also false. Hence Option D, A is false but R is also false is the right answer. Question number 26. Assertion A. Web servers use queues to manage multiple requests. This statement is true. Reason are a server can only serve one request at a time and queues allow orderly handling. So this statement is also true. So here option A, both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A is the right answer. Question number 27. Assertion A, peak operation modifies the queue by removing the front end. So this statement is false. Reason are peak is similar to DQ. So this statement is also false. So here option D, both A and R are false is the right answer. Question number 28. Assertion A. A DQ allows insertion and deletion from both the ends. So this statement is true. Reason are DQ can be used to simulate both queue and stack behavior. So this statement is also true. Hence option A, both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A is the right answer. Question number 29. Assertion A. A queue implemented in Python using a list can never overflow. So here this is true because there is no upper bound. So hence this statement is true. Reason are lists in Python have dynamic sizing and can grow as needed. So this statement is also true. Hence option A, both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A is the right answer. Question number 30. Assertion A. In a normal queue, insertion and deletion happens from opposite ends. That is true. So here insertion happens from the rear end and deletion occurs from the front end. Hence this particular statement is true. Reason are this differentiates a queue from stack where both happen from the same end. So this statement is also true. Hence option A, both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A is the right answer. Question number 31. Assertion A, insert front in DQ adds an element to index 0. So this is true. Reason are in Python, insert 0 comma element places the element at the front of the list. So here you can observe index number 0 indicates it's the front of the list only. Hence this is also true. So here option A, both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A is the right answer. Question number 32. Assertion A. Deletion from both the ends in DQ is not allowed. So actually it is allowed. Hence this statement is false. Reason are DQ behaves like a normal queue. No, this is also false. So here you can observe option D, both A and R are false is the right answer. Question number 33. Assertion A. Palindrome checking can be effectively done using a DQ. Here it is true. Reason are DQ allows comparing characters from front and rear ends. So this statement is also true. Hence option A, both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 34. Assertion A, get front and get rear both modify the contents of a DQ. Here this is false. Reason are they use pop and insert operations. This statement is also false. So hence option D, both A and R are false is the right answer. Question number 35. Assertion A, job scheduling in operating systems can be based on queues. So this is true statement. Reason are FIFO, that is first in first out strategy, ensures fair processing order. So this is also true. Hence option A, both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 36. Assertion A, in DQ, deletion rear uses pop without any arguments. So this is true. Reason are this removes the last element in the list. So this is also true. Hence, option A, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A is the right answer. Question number 37. Assertion A, all operations in DQ can be implemented using only append and pop in Python. So this statement is true. Reason R, Python lists allow only rear end insertion and deletion. So this is false. So it allows from both the ends you can insert and delete the elements. So here you can observe option C, A is true but R is false is the right answer. Question number 38. Assertion A, size function returns the number of elements in a queue. So this is true. Reason R, it uses Python's built-in len function. So this is also a true. Here option A, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Question number 39. Assertion a DQ can behave as both a queue and a stack. This is true. Reason R, it supports insertion and deletion from both the ends. Yes, this is also true. Hence, option A, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A is the right answer. Question number 40. Assertion, overflow can happen in a queue implemented using Python list. There is no strict bound checking, that is upper bound checking. Hence, there is no overflow happens. Hence, we can say this particular statement is false. Reason are Python lists are statically sized like arrays. So this statement is also false. It is dynamic in nature. You can insert any number of elements in a list. So here you can observe option D, both A and R are false is the right answer. I hope you understood all of these questions with their answers. If so, please write down in the comment box as understood. And if you want to check out all these questions with their answers, then the link is given in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and we'll see you in the next video.